Hi, everybody. All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to my daily vlog. It's a little later than I had wanted it to be, but that's only because when I got home, I spent some time with our little kitten. So that made me feel good. She fell asleep right here, and then put her back in her little. I put her back in her little cage. Well, it's actually a plastic storage tub, but it works. And she's off to dreamland, and I'll be joining her soon because I'm tired and sleepy because I had a long day at work. But I thought tonight I would do a vlog on just a lot of things that are on my mind, things that I deal with on a daily basis that nobody really ever sees. And somebody's somebody's gonna make a comment and go, you have issues like this that you deal with on a daily basis and you're not in therapy? Yes. Yes, I do. And no, no, I'm not. So, for starters, I think a lot of my issues right now, especially a lot of the stuff going on in my life, definitely arises from, I want to say, everything with my friend. Because I'm still feeling like an idiot for telling her how I felt back in April. And I'm still dealing with the fallout from it. Even though I have talked with her since, and I still talk with her, I'm still friends with her. So that's the good thing. That's honestly, it's all I wanted out of this entire ordeal. If I would have lost her as a friend, I think that would have broke my heart more than how things were. But the gist of it, even though I essentially made an ass out of myself, go figure, I'm still dealing with the backlash from my own mind. Because my mind is always this, it has to figure out what's a solution to a problem. If A equals B, then how do you get C? There's what my mind tries to do. And my mind will do this for everything. If it's a simple solution, my mind does it real quick and I don't even think about it. But if it's something that has bothered me or is bothering me, my mind will immediately and unceremoniously go, we need to figure this out. We need to figure out what's caused this. We need to figure out why this happened. And we need to put A and B and C together and come up with a solution because this is a massive problem. And I think the issue in this case is pretty much because I told my friend how I felt right as all this good stuff started happening for her, and my mind will instantly tell me, well, it's because you're trying to ruin her happiness. You ungrateful bitch. You're trying to ruin what she has and what makes her happy because you're miserable. So there's that. And that's honestly something that I'm clinging to yet. That I really do think that was part of my reasoning, and I hope it isn't, but it probably is. Then there's the possibility that my mind's just trying to piece everything together. Can I still be her friend? Was I ever really her friend? Does she just find me an annoyance? Insert whatever you want here. And my mind will always try to figure that out. And that's like part of the process in my head right now. and my mind just keeps going back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. When it comes to other things, other issues, other problems, I have a lot. I have stress at my job. I have issues making sure that all my bills are paid because I have school tax coming up. I have sewer tax that's apparently going to be going up next quarter, but yay. I have um, expenses that have to be paid, and I'm making sure I'm going to have enough money to cover all of this. Then there's the I'm still transitioning. I want to find a better job, but how do I breach the question of, well, I'm trans? Is that an issue? Because I didn't have to worry about that when I got my last couple jobs because the first job I had, I was still in hiding because it wasn't safe to be trans yet. My second job, I never had a chance to bring it up. Again, let go after 3 weeks. And this job that I have now was mostly because I needed something to pay bills. I wasn't, and still am not seeing this as a permanent, I'm going to be here for the rest of my life, or I'm going to be here for 5.5 years. If I make it a year, I will probably cry myself to sleep again. But there's a lot of those issues going around. There are days when I don't feel like my mind will tell me, you are a horrible person. Why are you doing this? Why are you acting like this? And my mind will instantly tell me that I'm horrible because of it. There are times when it just will look at me and say, you realize you're going to be living alone for the rest of your life. You will be friendless, you will have nothing. And all you are is just a pathetic waste of space. And these are things that my mind will tell me. And I'm not even joking on any of this. This is what goes through my head on a daily basis. And then there are days when I want to get a lot of stuff done. Like, I want to record a bunch of gameplay videos, or I want to take a bunch of pictures for DeviantArt, or Patreon, or OnlyFans, or Kofi. And then my mind instantly goes to, well, why are you wanting to do this? You should be focusing on something that's more sustainable. And then I end up just sitting on my butt watching YouTube videos all day. Or I'll play Candy Crush or something because my mind is telling me that if I want to do what I want to do, I'm never going to succeed at it. And the sad thing is, I listen to this. It's a voice of Debbie Downer in my head, but it's on a permanent loud megaphone. It's on a loudspeaker, and I hear it loud and clear every day. There are days when I go to work and I purposely take the scenic route, even though I want to try to stop doing that, save on gas, but I take the scenic route to add an extra 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes to my trip to give me an extra 10 minutes of peace and quiet before I actually go into work. An extra 10 minutes where I'm not part of the corporation. I'm not part of their um, philosophy, if you will. I'm not stuck. I'm not stuck there, basically. And those are the days that I know I want to do something different. But then when I start going through my mind for things that I could do different, do I want to be a video gamer and just try to figure out a way to make Twitch work so I could just stream on Twitch? If I try doing that, then all of a sudden it's, oh no, you can't stream on Twitch. What are you doing? That's stupid. You'll never get an audience. Nobody wants to see you play video games. The only thing that they're interested when you appear feminine is your body. That's all they want. Nobody cares about you yourself. You're a horrible individual. And then there comes the negative thoughts again. And for me, the negative thoughts are always going to be a part of me because I have no self confidence and I haven't had any self confidence in years. The last time I felt really good about myself, even in a fleeting moment was back in February. In fact, it was the Friday right before President's Day because I went out and I actually saw the picture because I actually I had the print I had the picture printed so that I could have it as a reminder that this was what you looked like. Remember, this is what you're aiming for. And I seriously can't believe how good I looked when I went out that Friday. And I'm still shocked about it to this day. Now, granted, yes, okay, I wore a wig because my hair isn't very pretty, but I've been growing it out, so it's getting better. But I miss my wig, but it's too warm. I still have the shirt, I still have the top, the pants were because it was winter time, and I still have the earrings, but I prefer my gamer ones. It's finding my own style. But when I took that picture, it reminded me that because I knew I would never look that good again. And that was the Friday right after my friend had her surgery. It was I was supposed to get together with a friend of mine because she had the day off, but her car ended up having an issue, so she had to cancel. And we hung out that Monday instead. But I basically I got hit on a bunch of times. And not even joking. I remember I got hit on at the Dollar Tree and I got hit on at the Walmart that I went shopping at for groceries. I got hit on at both places. The Dollar Tree was the funniest because the guy just kept looking at me like, I want a piece of that. And I'm just looking at him like, you're barking up the wrong tree. Like, good luck with that, but you're barking up the wrong tree, I'm afraid. And then there were days then there was the guy at Walmart that was following me around. And that was the day I wore my S cup breast forms. And I wore those past weekend because the vest part themselves broke, but the boobs are still fine. And I still felt really good, especially Sunday when I wore two different colored shirts. I had the yellow shirt on, and then I had my flowery shirt, both of which were really light fabric. I'm like, it's gonna be extremely hot. I'm not gonna wear a thick, dark colored fabric. What the hell am I stupid? I got two fake silicone boobs on. I'm gonna be drenching in sweat, and I'm gonna walk around Walmart and look like Old Faithful's, having an off day. But I knew I was never gonna look that good again. I mean, I could try to duplicate that exact look. I will never get it. That was a once in a lifetime, one in a million shot, and I'm never gonna get that look again. But that's why I kept that picture as a reminder. It was why especially for the longest time, on my wall right over here where I have my pictures and that, it was why I had some pictures of my friend as a reminder that I could look this good one day. I could be like her one day. And that quelled a lot of the stuff in my mind. It prevented it from really giving me help. But with everything that happened and the fact that I told her how I felt, which, to be fair, I'm not perfect for her in any way. I know that now. And I am slowly coming to accept that. My negative thoughts can reinforce it all they want, but I already know. I know I'm not good enough for her, and I never will be. The thing is, I always kept those pictures. It reminded me that she was just like me. I had once asked her where she gets her strength, where how she manages to get through every day. And she told me that her strength comes from a dark place. And I was in a lot of dark places myself. There was a time when I was in high school, I contemplated taking the one-way bus ticket, if you know what I mean. Because I was getting picked on horrendously in school. I was having problems with my family, and I contemplated the ye old express bus to the next world, one way only. And it wasn't it was the first time I contemplated it. The next time would have been back in November when I had $2,000 scammed from me, and then my bank took what was left of my money and left me in a negative almost $1,000 balance with no money, and they were going to close my bank account because of it. And they were blaming me for it. I contemplated it again because when you hit your lowest is when you're often susceptible to the most change. And I couldn't have gotten any lower. I lost my job back in June. I had no money at this point now. It was completely gone, save for whatever I had in like a toolbox that I had here, and that was mostly coins. No way to buy food, no way to pay for gas, no way to do anything. And I'm officially freaking the fuck out that everything I had is gone in one fell swoop because of this. And then I just saw my friend's picture. And part of me was like, you need to hold on just a bit longer. Something can happen, something can change. Maybe the bank will fix the problem. You'll get your whatever little money you have left back, and maybe, just maybe, you can get by. You can find something. Maybe something will work out. And I kept that small sliver of hope. I was still terrified. I won't lie about that. I won't, and I have to thank a friend of mine, an old classmate, that lives not too far from me, like literally right down the street. She saw my plight on my Facebook page, my main Facebook page. I don't have one for, well, I do have one for me, but I don't have it up. It's just a blank page at this point. But she saw what had happened and she said, "Hey, I have a whole bunch of extra food. I'm more than willing to share it with you. I'll drop it off tonight after my fiance gets home." I'm like, "Thank you." And by that point, I still had my money back. Like, at that point, I had gotten my money back. Well, except for the 2,000, I had gotten what the bank had taken out from me. And I was very happy because I at least had some food. We weren't going to starve. But seeing the look on my mom's face that I basically cost her food, that there was not going to be any food. We were not going to be able to buy groceries now. We had no way of paying bills. The look on her face towards me wasn't one of I'm I'm not upset with you. I'm worried that you're okay. It was a I am pissed off at you. And it drove me back more to my dark spot. So when I had asked my friend months later, or a couple months later, how do you do it? How do you get through every day? Because to me, she had this strength. She just had this armor around her that seemed impenetrable. And when she told me that her strength comes from a dark place, I felt so much better about myself. And I can't deny that, which makes everything that happened a couple months ago with me confessing everything happened and my mind just going to pot over it and everything else, just letting all the negative feelings back into my mind again. It's what proved to me that I am not I'm not good enough for her. I'm not good enough, period. And I know this now. Because if I was good enough for her, I wouldn't have gone back to a dark place. If I was good enough at all, I wouldn't have said anything. There are times when everything in our heads has to come out. It can't stay in there. It's like Robin Williams used to say, the people who are the saddest often make people try to laugh the most because they know how bad it is to be sad. And it's true. I try my best to entertain people, to give somebody a friendly smile, to let them know that someone cares. That's what I try to do. Whether it be in pictures or in tweets, in videos like this, or if I'm recording a gameplay and I'm doing some commentary, stuff like that. Everything I do is my way of giving back to make sure that somebody out there that might be like me gets a bit of help, that they can feel better about themselves. I know I'm not exactly a shining role model for anyone, and I understand that far better than anyone could ever imagine, but at the same time, that's why I try what I try and I do what I do. I don't ever want to know that somebody that I could have helped just succumbed to the negative thoughts in their heads that everything happened. But stuff like that happens sometimes. But in my mind, it's always been this massive thing with me. I have never had self confidence. I have always been treated like garbage. My classmates in school treated me like crap, and I finally got a best friend in eighth grade. After years of trying, I finally found a best friend in eighth grade. I had family that were persistent that I was never going to be smart enough to do anything. And the only jobs I would ever have would be manual labor, basically lifting up heavy boxes and putting them down, or moving big, large, heavy freight objects or pallets. And that's all I was going to be able to do with my life because I am not, in their minds, good enough. And it's stuff like that that is still stuck to me. I have emotional baggage. And in all honesty, it's emotional baggage that will never ever go away. It will always be there. It will always remain. And no matter what I try, no matter what I do, it won't go away. It'll stay there. I can't lighten the load by wishing it gone, and I can't close the door on all my demons because my demons will never go away. And that's the problem. For me, that's just who I am. That's the stuff that goes on in my mind, the stuff that you don't see. When you see a tweet that I put up, you don't see the large thought behind it. Most of the time, if somebody's um, asking about something, or if they're saying, "Oh, I'm not feeling very good today," I'm trying to help legitimately, and I might overthink it, but most of the time, I am. I'm just trying to help. There are times when I want to make a little smart ass remark or a comment to get a chuckle out of people, to make them laugh, so that they aren't miserable, sad. And I do that. But now you know why. Because that's just who I am. And I know nobody will ever watch these videos, these vlogs that I'm doing, but I would rather record it and have it be out there and known than to not. Like I said, my friend said that her strength comes from everything that happened to her. It came from a dark place. It was one of the reasons that I always try my best to stick around her, and I feel I should, regardless of my feelings for her, because I know what it's like to be in a dark place, and I don't want anyone to go back to it. Nobody should ever be in a dark place like that. I don't know how dark hers was, but I know mine was pretty dark. And seeing the light in her eyes in every tweet she puts out, honestly, it makes me really happy inside. Because you could get lost in her eyes if you're not careful. But when you see the life that's in them and the light that shines through them, it makes you feel good. And it's the reason I try to do what I do to make others feel good. Because I don't want somebody to suffer and be sad. If I can help, I try. That's just what I do. Now you know. Till tomorrow. Bye, everyone.